Have you ever had a project come in on budget?
Yes. But whether or not they came in on time and to quality level and all the rest of it, that's the critical thing. It's easy to get a project to come in on any one aspect. It's stitching them all together. That's the tough bit. When you're focused on a particular component, it makes it a lot easier. But clients often don't want just one aspect. They want them all. They want everything. They want your cake and eat it too, sort of stuff. So yeah, it's easy to manage to one particular constraint.
How about, how do you go about managing a project when your client doesn't actually know what they want? They're on site all the time, changing things, there's no clear scope from the beginning. They'll just, come in as they see fit and change things.
Yeah, it's
heavy to pay for it.
I'll exclude myself from the equation here at the moment. If a client comes onto site and wants to change something, it's making sure that that change and the implications of that are recorded quite quickly and put in front of them so that they can agree to it before you actually proceed forward with the change. A lot of the time, if that's not done, the client will come back and say, oh, I didn't understand that that's what that meant, and if you told me, I would never have agreed to it. So being able to get something down in writing and get it back to them and in front of them before you undertake the work is the ultimate. Oftentimes you don't have that opportunity, but being able to have
Really, a lot of it is just verbal, quick dash in the car and
yes.
that and that.
Yeah, so it falls back on you to do the documentation side, which is unfortunate because it's another task to add to the list of things that are taking you away from getting the job finished. But if you don't do that, it's hard to get paid for it at the end of the day. Documentation is really the only way, and trying to get it back in front of them when you've got that opportunity, and getting the right people to help you do it. I don't know your particular instance in terms of the type of projects you're working on, but when you get to some of the larger projects, you've got the fortunate position of often having site administration components who can look after that side of things too. So size in that act, smaller projects will certainly work against you in that aspect of it.
If you say get quote from someone and they come in real cheap or whatever, and they've actually stuffed it up, and that's part of your big quote or whatever,
Yes.
how do you go about that? Like if that business goes under or whatever, or can't, who ends up having to cop up or sort of thing? Do you know what I mean?
I do, and it depends how you exactly your situation there. But if the second part of your question there, who ends up footing the bill, sort of stuff, well, it's whoever. If they're a subcontractor to you, then you end up footing the bill because you put in a total price to the client. The difficult thing is understanding where someone's made a stuff up and is risky versus just being a really good price for you. And ultimately, it comes down to a bit of experience and a bit of gut feel about whether or not they've done it right or not. We often encounter that. A lot of the time we're fortunate in that we've had multiple prices, and it's whether it's a subcontractor or a consultant or a piece of equipment or whatever it is. If you've got the benefit of multiple prices, you can generally see where someone's made a genuine error or where someone has perhaps really sharpened their pencil to get the work. There are risks on both of those. Obviously, if someone's made a genuine mistake, they're unlikely to be able to do the job and may not realise that until some way down the track and fall over on that component. The other's risky, whereas is when someone does cut their price down too much and never have a hope of actually delivering it. You battle the whole way through, and it often ends up costing you more than as if you've just taken the next price. And someone's realistic price is oftentimes a hell of a lot less stress for everyone involved than just giving them the cheapest price. A lot of the time you got to help your client understand that because
they just want the cheapest price, eh?
Yeah. So being able to talk to the client with some confidence and some evidence that they should take this price and not that price.
So you obviously look at other like people's previous jobs and whatnot too, don't you?
Absolutely, and a lot of the time when someone's made a genuine stuff up, yeah, we let them know, hey, you're really sure you want to put that, to proceed with that price, and sometimes they'll.
So are you allowed to look at, like, say, a construction company did a big job, and are you able to see if they were under or over budget or stuck to their timeline and all that? Are you allowed to look at their sort of stuff to do with that, to make a call on who you get, or?
Yeah, look, it's inevitable, whether it's strictly in accordance with all the tender documentation or not. The market's pretty small, and most of the time from where we're sitting, when we ask for a price for a significant piece of work, we ask for references and referees and that sort of thing. So we talk to clients about how our jobs have gone, and what sort of performance there was. We try and canvass as many of the attributes to the job as we can, and it's cost and time and quality, but it's also what the working relationship was like. You know, it was every day a battle, because life's too short, really, to deal with people who are hard work. So it's all part of the things that we look at when we're doing a job. Risk's a big one. How likely is this guy to fall over? How likely is it that he's going to be able to do the job for the price he's given us? Because we don't want someone skimping and saving every step of the job.